Well, hello, friend. Well, I'm on here making a video tonight, and because, well, the Holy Spirit told me to, because I sent out an interview to some friends on Facebook, a number of people that are a little more used to advocacy than a lot of other folks. And I'm going to put this on Facebook along with YouTube, but I'm going to explain to you some things that I don't normally explain to you because they're irrelevant, but it's going to be relevant this time. In the video that I'm going to discuss, I'm going to put that in the comments to the video on YouTube. If it's on Facebook, you'll find it on my wall. So if you see it there, you can look on my wall. But it's an interview. And I was originally a registered Democrat, right? The reason I'm saying that is because this interview that is getting done that I'm going to put in the comments is Tucker Carlson interviewing another gentleman, Bret Weinstein. And he is actually interviewing him about COVID and about things. But it's far more than that. If you watch through the entire video, you will see that it's talking about the things that I've been talking about. He's saying he doesn't have a clue on where it comes from, but he really does. But what he's saying is he doesn't know where the official thing is. So, just like me, I see a lot of different things and I know parts of it, but they're being so isolated about it that it's hard to understand it all. So if you go watch that video, and I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, black, white, purple, it doesn't matter to me, friend. Here in this nation, they're dividing us and using all these different ways to do it. And I've been telling you all that if we don't do something, we're going to be in serious trouble. In this interview that he's doing, he's talking about that there is a Pandemic Preparedness Act that is going to be initiated and voted on in May, and it appears that the United States is going to go into that. So I've been on here talking about Jesus mostly, right? That's what I talk about a lot. But I also talk about these things that are going on, these things that we can see, but nobody can really see it. And I talk about it and people think I'm crazy, but I'm giving you this interview. So I don't care whether you believe in Tucker Carlson or not. This is not about Tucker any more than it's about me. This is about America and what's going to happen to our children if we don't do something. So in May, they're going to vote on this, Preparedness Act, but it's going to give away the First Amendment of America will disappear along with any other country that signs into this at the United Nations. Now, I'm going to tell you something, friend. I used to be a very good advocate in mental health because I knew people that knew people, right? I'm not the smart guy. When I'm on here talking to you, I'm not on here because I'm so intelligent. If you don't believe I talk to God, just believe that I have an intuition that I followed, and the intuition led me where it led me, and that's the things I've been talking about. To be quite honest with you, I started off in mental health advocacy and ended up doing what I'm doing now because in the process of advocating for that, I ran across this other problem that I've been talking about. I don't go into great detail on every little thing all the time because people aren't going to understand, and everybody thinks somebody that's talking about it is a paranoid conspiracy theorist. And that's not the truth. And I'm not worried as far as afraid for myself. I never really anticipated in surviving what's going down. Understand, I have no intentions on letting it go down. But I figure somebody has to stand. And just like this gentleman talks at the end of the video about he had to do the right thing regardless of whether it cost him his life or not, because you have to do the right thing if you're going to be a good human being. Well, this is what I consider being a good human being. So it isn't that I plan on I don't want to be anything special, friend. I'm zero special. But somebody has to become willing to die in order to live. And Jesus taught me how to do that. And the Holy Spirit gives me courage that isn't mine. Because I have been a coward my whole life. But I want you to go watch this video so that you can understand why it is that I'm talking about what it is I'm talking about. And then you can also go to my Facebook page, Jason Matlack, and you will find a video pinned on the front of my Facebook page, which is a 60-second video showing you that BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street own all the other corporations in America. And if you go to Yahoo Finance, you can look that up and see that to be true. You'll also see that there are other companies along with those. So it's a few companies own the entire nation. That is why we're in the problem that we're at. It's not that the politicians are meaning to do it, and it's not Republicans and it's not Democrats. It's both. They both are getting fed different lies, just like our media is feeding us lies. The corporations own the medias, and they own the politicians. So all the news you're getting is fake news. You don't have a clue on what's getting ready to go down in the United Nations, because they would never tell it to you, because the corporations own the media stations. So if you're depending on them to give you the truth, you're living in a lie. And I'm not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that because we need to make a new choice. And if we don't make a new choice, and I know a lot of you think you're going to wait for Trump to fix everything. Friend, May is long before elections. This is a time where we are going to make this choice to stand up on our own, or we're going down. And I'm telling you right now that there's all kinds of people across this nation that have AR-15s that have absolute intention on using them, and I've been listening to that rhetoric online. I personally don't believe in violence, friend. Jesus told me that offenses must come, but woe to those who bring them. I can't bring offenses. But he didn't tell me to lay down and just watch our children get murdered and enslaved by this totalitarian system that's coming that nobody can see. And this gentleman will tell you, if you'll go listen to this video that's attached to the video that I'm making right now. So that's what I really want you to do. And if you don't believe me, go to also Clues to the Kingdom. I have a lot of different things. Another major player in this not only is the World Health Organization, but the World Economic Forum. It's all hand in hand, and they're all being run by the corporations, the corporate elite. And that's what I call the dragon. And a publicly traded corporation, I've told you, is the thought of Satan made flesh. It doesn't exist except as a set of laws on paper. That's what the elite are using to kill us. Our stocks have become our bonds. So I don't expect you to believe that, but I do expect you that if you know Jesus, that you might look into these things and see whether you want, because understand that a lot of Christians think they're getting out of here ahead of time, and that isn't what Jesus said. Jesus said that when you wake up, that the sleeping brides, that 5 out of 10 didn't have enough oil. So I've been telling you again and again, it's time to get some oil. So if you don't have oil, go get oil. But don't just sit around and do nothing. If you're not going to stand for something, you're going to be caught scared and alone at the end of the age here when this stuff goes down. So I'm telling you that this just isn't looking good. I don't care if you think I'm crazy, friend. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm willing to die so that your children can live. That's the simple fact. It's not that I want to die. Jesus did not want to die. He prayed, Father, don't make me drink from this cup. Nonetheless, your will, not mine, be done. Well, I've said, Father, don't make me drink from this cup, but nonetheless, your will, not mine, be done. Because I'm an American, friend, and I love all of you. But I'm also a human being, and I love all human beings because they're all my Father's children. Period. So if one person has to be willing to die so that others will stand behind him, then I'll do that. You give me an army and I'll lead it. But here's the facts. There will be no weapons. I'm looking for a bunch of Quakers and such, friend. I'm looking for people that want their children to have a better life and don't want them to live under a totalitarian system, which is coming around the corner. And understand, once they make that money go digital by crashing the system, they're going to have what it is they need, because they will be able to completely control you, friend. If you pipe up and say things like I'm saying, they'll hit the switch to your bank account and you'll have no money and you'll shut up or starve. And if anybody joins you, they'll cut off their bank account too. So this is kind of a last time stand, friend. Once you allow that to go into place, you're never going to get people to make this decision. So I'm telling you that if you think that you might want to make a stand to save your kids, the time should be sooner than later. That's just the reality of it. I've been calling and nobody listens because I don't expect you to, friend. I'm a nobody. But you know what? We're all nobodies, but we're all somebodies. We're all child of God, and each one of us deserve love, peace, and joy, and freedom. I get that people think capitalism is good. It was at one point. It isn't anymore. That is gone. The illusion that you're living under is not the truth of what you've got in this country. And your government has been taken over by it, period. And just because I say it, just as he's talked about, because I've said these things, they can hold me as a terrorist because I'm speaking against my government, because that Freedom Act for terrorism created such a way that they can control us, and if we speak against the government, that they can arrest us as terrorists. So for me just talking what I've been talking for these last 4 years leaves me open to be arrested for a terrorist. But here's the facts, friend. I don't love the government. I love the people that the government is for. This government was supposed to be for the people, by the people. It is not for the people, and it is not by the people. And I'm not saying raise arms. I'm saying it's time to put a front line out to stop this before it turns into a bloodbath. And if you can't see it coming, you're blind, friend. That's the facts. So I'm asking you to go watch this Tucker Carlson video where he's interviewing Brett Weinstein. Go do some research, friend. I didn't research that, but I've already been watching it. I already know all this stuff. On Clues to the Kingdom on my YouTube, you'll find all kind of things about what's going down. This is going down. Whether you like it or not, it's going down. So the question is, are we going to allow it to go down, or are we going to try to make a stand? Not about violence. It's about saving our children from our own selfishness. My selfishness, along with yours, created this system, and we've let it run because we were too selfish and too scared to stand up. So I'm asking you, will you stand with me? I'm not that smart. I need smart people. That's the truth. When I worked in mental health advocacy and all that, I wasn't smart then either, friend. I knew a lot of smart people, and that's how I got by, right? So I need smart people to join me. You can put the target on my back and you can stay in the shadows. I don't care. But for somebody, for heaven's sake, that loves their children, decide they're willing to risk their life to save their children's. And if not, maybe the children will decide to save the parents. Would somebody please think about saving somebody? This is going to require a stand. You can't wait for somebody else to do it. We've come to that hour that we're going to make this decision, and people are going to have to pay a high price. I'm willing to pay that high price so that you don't have to. Come put a target on my back. I don't care. But let's do something other than nothing. I will not be ashamed of myself when I stand before Christ on Judgment Day, and I'm sure hoping the rest of the Christians aren't going to feel the same. Because if you don't think there's going to be some answering for a Christian nation manifesting the thought of Satan made flesh and then infecting the world with it, you're just not thinking about what you're thinking about. So if we let this cup get poured, you can be sure we're going to drink a second cup. All right, friend. Well, just understand I love you. And I don't care if you're Christian or not, friend. If you're an American and you don't want to be in a totalitarian system where they can control you and do like that Epstein guy that got caught molesting children, you understand in that system, if you get a few people in charge, they could come snag your children out of your house and you could do nothing, or they'll shut off your bank account and nobody will stand with you. You'll be alone watching your children suffer. That's what that system brings. We need freedom, friend. We all wear the crown in this nation because there is no king. We're all accountable. All right, well, just know I love you because my father loves you, and I don't want to end up in trouble any more than you. But I'm done watching it, and I'm telling you, if you'll stand with me, I'll stand in front. You can put a target on my back so you don't have to put one on yours. So it's up to you. All right, friend. Well, may God bless you and yours.